top right or left, you will see Q&A. Q&A is where you can put in your chat. Please put in your chats and just put something in the lines of can hear you, cannot hear you. That's appreciated. Thank you. Whilst I am trying to ensure everything is well set up here in terms of tech and in terms of tech and in terms of you know all the last minute things, checking that my laptop is on charge, because I don't want to go off in the middle of the webinar. Okay, so now I can look at the chat. I think some chats have already started to come in. Okay, lovely. So most of us can hear me. Thank you. Welcome everybody. It's really nice to have people join, and to also have them join on time is fantastic. Could you please, can everyone just put what location they're joining from? I'm joining from the UK, and I am joining from somewhere in the UK called Kent. So if you just put in the chat the area you are joining from, it's always interesting to know how far reaching this webinars get us. So please put in the chat box where you're joining from. Can I ask all the admins to make sure that they are on mute, so that the camera just centers itself on me, so that people don't get distracted. Thank you. Right, so I'm just looking through the chat. So in terms of the flow of today, I'll tell you the way we do things with our Ariel Lyric webinars. We try to make it as interactive as possible. My eyes are always out looking at the chat box for what you've put in. So, we try to make it definitely, I know with webinars, it's always a one-way street, sort of, unlike a meeting, but we try to get some personality into it by actually trying to get the chat box really busy. So Oluwatoyin is joining from Abuja. Lovely. Rhoda is joining from London. What parts? I used to live in East London. I used to be a Londoner. But it seems like it seems like a long time ago, and it's not. I've actually been I was in London longer than I've been in Kent. But it's lovely to hear. Ogene May, tell me if I pronounced it well. I don't know. I'm making an assumption that that's an Urobo name. I do like my Urobo people. So you're from Glasgow. That's Scotland, isn't it? Lovely. Those are one of the places I would like to visit. And I have Boma, but I don't know if Boma has put where she's joining from. Oh, Ayomide is saying that it's her first time using the app. So any of the admins and the guys on my team, if you can be very kind to just reach out to Ayomide and just in the chat explain where how to help. Oh, you live in Sutton. That's around Croydon parts, I think, Rhoda. I think I know those parts. Yeah. I lived in East London, but I did live in other parts. I lived in North London at the time. I also lived in I don't know what parts you call the areas around Croydon and the rest. But I lived in East London for the longest part. Oh, I welcome everybody from every part of the world that you're from. Boma is joining from Oxford. Boma, Oxford must be like the really posh England, posh English place. I don't know, I'm making assumptions here. I've not been to Oxford. I've passed by it. Or rather, so I got it. I do. Yeah, I did get some credits for remembering some bits of London, because when you move out to somewhere, it then becomes strange. So when I go to London now, it's so different. So Ayobami, you can't find the chat box. You can find it because you're typing in it, and that's where I'm reading it from. But you might not be able to see other people's chat. So I don't know what the interface is like. Anyone can confirm in the chat. Are you able to see other people's chats? Or can you just only, because what I know is that once you send a chat, I can see it's under the Q&A section. So I was waiting for someone from my team to get in touch with Ayomide to help out with the to kind of give us some support around the app. I can imagine Oxford sounds like a beautiful but expensive place as well. So imagine the mix of those two things. Posh, beautiful, expensive equals posh. Right, okay, all right. We're going to give you one more minute and we would crack on. For the guys that are on the call, please. Yes, the Q&A is actually where we chat, and it's called Q&A. Is where I interact with you and you interact with me, and it is called so I refer to it as chat box because it's where we chat, but this particular application Zoho refers to it as Q&A. So please go with the Q&A. I have hands raised and I'm not sure. It is Ayomide's hands, and I think it's a lagging and lovely. So for everybody on the call, can we do one solid for me, please? Welcome Augusta, welcome Dawn, welcome Aluchuku, Kazim, Oluwaseyi, Oluwatoyin, Petra, that's right. Welcome everybody. Welcome Samuel, Stella, and Udwak. It's really lovely to have you guys, and it's lovely to actually see all these lovely names. Now, the one favor I was going to ask you is that thing where you don't want to just be the only one benefiting from a good thing. Have you been like that? Has anybody here been like that lately? Like, I'm like, oh my God, they're doing sales. I need to tell my sister. I need to tell my friend. I need to tell this person. Or, oh my God, this is a wolf. A wolf for non-Nigerians here means, a wolf means this is a deal. This is a bargain. And I'm like, oh, someone else needs to hear. But to be honest, it doesn't have to be only sales and a wolf you're sharing. We should be people that, in our circles, we're motivating each other to be better. So I personally would appreciate the friend that reaches out to me when, there's this business opportunity, there's this webinar where they're talking about transition and where they're talking about the possibility of moving to a 6-digit salary. So please do not stay on this webinar alone. Please, whilst you're on the call, just share out the link to your network, to people on WhatsApp. Let them all join, and let's just enjoy this time together. I promise you it's going to be quite a productive one in terms of, just getting a taste of what project management is about. So welcome to the Ario Lyric project management taster section. So you get a taste of a day in the life and what project management is about. Right, so now that I can see that all of the tech is done and we're looking good on tech, we can just crack on. As people join, if I ask the members of my team to just put in the chat box for them to just introduce themselves and where they're, joining from. Right, so Right. So for I'm also kind of looking at my team trying to communicate with me, because with the webinars, I do need to also be listening to them as well, where they have questions or they're trying to ask for directions around something. So please bear with me. Right. So now I was going to walk us quickly through the flow of the session and what the session will be like. What's the agenda? What do we have packed for this session? And there's going to be slides we can look at, because I know sometimes we really like to look at those visuals. But for me, for most webinars, I try not to get people to, I try to get people away from the slides so that they can listen. And, because sometimes a lot of good information cannot be contained in slides, but would be spoken. So I'll share that in a bit. But I'm just running through the webinar agenda for today. And for the people that just joined, welcome to our Accelerate Project Management Bootcamp. And this is organized by an organization called Ariel Lyric, which I founded. And so in terms of the agenda for today, what we will be doing is we will be speaking a bit about, Ariel Lyric and what we do at Ariel Lyric. We would be speaking around a very popular Accelerate Academy. And we would be going into project management itself. We'll be talking around what project management is. It's very interesting to hear about people's view around, project management. We talk about project management, what it is, what a project manager would typically do. We'll talk about the roles in project management. Also, we would then speak about why project management is the right career to choose, to change into, or to start. Why project management. And then we'll do a bit about we'll talk around because I've had questions from people that just before the webinar that wanted to sign up for the Accelerate Academy Bootcamp. So we will be talking around registration for the next cohort, and we will take questions and answers. So please get your questions and answers ready ahead of that session. If you have questions and answers, just keep putting into the Q&A box where you can chat, and my team will pick it up from the Q&A. And we would answer at the end of the session. So that's a quick run through what we're going to be. 1 second, for a minute, my computer is still not charging, so I better double check why. Right, so I have that charging now. Okay, lovely. So we're going to crack right on. For everyone that's just joining, we are just starting up with the session. So welcome for everyone that's just joined. For the new joiners to the call, you might have missed where I said to share this with a family, share this with a friend, just send the link to your network and send the link to everyone on, anyone that you think would benefit from this. I do not think I caught Augusta. So welcome, Augusta. Welcome to the new, the people that just joined. So now I'm going to just do a screen share. Please just give me a reaction, a thumbs up once you can see my my screen being shared. You can see the slides. The slide that you should see is an agenda slide. So I'm just looking out for your thumbs up. so I know that you can see the I can see hands up. So please, can anyone from the team double check that hand? Is that hand a reaction to saying that you can see the slides, or is that hand wanting some support? So I'm going to look at the raised hand. The raised hand is from Oluwatoyin. So can someone please check if Oluwatoyin is okay or she needs any support? And if otherwise, Oluwatoyin, is it okay to put down your hands just so that I'm sure that you don't need support? Thank you. Lovely. So for our new joiners, please keep going with spreading the link to others to join. Oh, lovely. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up now, so that means everyone can see my window being, shared, and so you can see the agenda. So I've already gone through this agenda, and you have your screen. I wouldn't be spending time on that anymore. We're just going to move on to very interesting things and interesting times. We have a lot lined up today. We're going to have people that have gone through this process of changing careers and moving into project management. We're going to have someone from the current Accelerate Academy come and speak about her experience so far. And we'll have someone that has finished with the academy and, she's joined it years ago and she's gone through several jobs now. And she'll also speak about her experience. So yeah, we do have interesting things lined up. So, lots we're going to do tonight in the next 90 minutes or so. Right. So now, when you're looking at me, you were thinking, what's this person right here in front of me talking about project management? And what is Ariel Lyric Careers and Training about? What is this organization about? So if you're there wondering, I'm going to tell you a bit about how Ariel Lyric, Careers came about. So there's no way I could talk about Ariel Lyric without talking about myself. Although I'm not someone that really likes the sound of my voice or likes to shine the light on myself, I do like to give attention to others, honestly. Can my team let me know if there's problems with share my screen? Is my screen share working? So I'm just dropping, okay, so you can see it. Okay, I'm just dropping a note for my team for them to let me know anytime the tech from my end seems to be frozen or anything like that, because with technology is all we have now, but it does play up sometimes, and we just always have to be able to walk around it. So if everyone is fine, because it was showing me signs that my sharing connection was weak or something like that. All right. Okay, lovely. So yeah, back to talking about all things Ariel Lyric. And I said I couldn't talk about Ariel Lyric without, just saying something about my story. So about myself, my name is Lara Gabriel, and I have been within project management for over a decade now. And like some of the people on this call or not, I wasn't originally, project management inclined. I studied law in Nigeria and I practiced law in Nigeria. So I had a very legal mind and legal background. And I then came to the UK. So am I frozen for everybody? When you mean I'm frozen, can you hear me? Because someone from my team is saying I'm frozen. Is that everybody's experience? Am I frozen or is it okay? Because from my end, it's not showing me as frozen. Because sometimes it would be my tech, but sometimes it could be your tech as well. So can everybody just tell, share a reaction if you can hear me okay. You can hear me, you can see me okay. Just a reaction, please. It just helps me. All right, lovely, lovely. Thank you. Right. So talking back about the Accelerate Academy, which is part of the product of Ariel Lyric, and talking about how Ariel Lyric came to be founded. You know, I studied law, I practiced law, I came here to continue my studies, and when I got here after doing my MBA, you know, very excited about the UK. Obviously, I lived in London. You have great expectations. I don't know if anybody has read the book Great Expectations, Charles Dickens. And you know, when you come, the reality is different. And because you start to learn and unlearn. And then I thought all my experience I had from Nigeria would pay off. And I started to apply for jobs. And I applied for jobs. And I remember I had different types of CVs. But I just kept getting, we're sorry. You know, those, we're sorry. Unfortunately, I got so much of them. I then start to wonder, you know, you start to question yourself because you kind of know the value you can bring to an employer. You keep wondering. And at that time, I didn't realize it was because I just didn't have the UK experience. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking experience is transferable. Why must experience be location-based? Because, you know, whilst we talk about systemic racism and we talk about prejudice, I think some things are actually wrong. For instance, you know, looking for experience that is location-based really puts certain people at a disadvantage. I mean, so, you know, anybody that relocates from another country here, whether Nigeria, whether the States, anybody that is relocating to a different country, because most countries operate where they want experience within that country, it kind of limits you. So that was one order. The second order was just thinking around what career was lucrative that I wanted to get into. So after going through a bit of rejection, getting my confidence, chipping away from every I'm sorry, we are sorry. And then I thought, you know what? I don't know, you know, what is going to happen? The worst was when I applied for a fast food company. You're thinking, what would the requirements of a fast food company be when they're looking for candidates? And they turned me down. And I was after doing my MBA and thinking, okay, I have an MBA, I have this experience. And then I got a friend that told me about project management and said, oh, you'll be really good for this. You got transferable skills. And I'll be honest, I was initially reluctant. Then I said, you know what, just do it. You know, what do you have to lose? But knowledge and knowing that you tried. So that was the beginning of the transformation. I went on that boot camp, 10 years plus now, and I've not looked back. I've moved into a career that I absolutely love. I could not even think about going back to being a lawyer. I enjoy what I do. I get paid more than I would have if I ended up staying within the legal field, because within the legal field is quite brutal. Yeah. You know, you would climb, but the way you climb is really slow. With project management, there's so much opportunities to get promoted and move about to other fields and industries. So I've really enjoyed project management. So I landed my first gig, my first job, you know, 10 years plus ago. But now I've worked with a lot of organizations, including private sector. I've worked with financial services. I've worked within the public sector as well. So I have that well-rounded view. And I have, just because of my interest in project management, I've also then gotten, obviously, because I'm keen about getting interested in everything project management, I've tried to develop myself as well. So I am Prince2 certified, I am change management certified, agile certified, and the rest of it. There's something called MSP, which is program management, and I've gotten, you know, I've gotten my hands into that. And for me, getting my hands into all these things is just to make me a well-rounded person, both as as an employee, but also as someone that's coaching and supporting people. At the back of doing the boot camp that I did years ago, I found myself always supporting people that I was trained with and people that I got to know along the way in my network. I always supported them somehow. And then I realized, oh, actually you have this gift, and you're really good at this. And I developed myself more around it, got developed around coaching as well. And now I'm this person that has founded, this organization. And when you think of Ariel Lyric, I want you to always think around an organization looking at how to improve and develop people, especially underrepresented groups and especially immigrant groups in the community. So when you're looking at UK, you're looking at underrepresented groups. When you're looking at people development, you're looking at people in Nigeria, because once you're doing well in your career can take you to a lot of places, because now the world is a virtual world. So that's quickly about me and how Ariel Lyric was founded. Ariel Lyric was founded in I think it's 10 years. This year is going to be our 10th year that we've been registered as a company. So we've been around for a while. We've always been a very boutique type company where we're small, and we've always been built around referrals. We've remaining small, and we would remain small because that's the model I like in terms of being able to give back value. But what we've done this year is we've had a strategy where we want to expand our reach. That doesn't change our model. It just means that we're moving away from referrals to trying to get into the public space. And so you see us on LinkedIn a lot, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok, all of those global platforms. So if you're not following us and you're on the call, please do follow us on the handles. My team will be sharing the handles in the link below. So that's quickly about Ariel Lyric. I won't talk too much around our mission and vision, but like I said, when you think about Ariel Lyric and you think about myself, just think around people development, business development, focus on with a focus on kind of shining the light on underrepresented groups and immigrants all around the world. There's also a focus on helping people to transition between careers in the most practicable and relatable way. Now, very quickly around our services, we provide individual and business services, both to businesses and to individuals. For the individual services, we have the Accelerate Bootcamp. So the Accelerate Academy is our 5-week, is our 5-week academy program where you go through 5 weeks of, project management training. And at the back of it, you land yourself a job like most of our candidates have done. With the Accelerate Academy, since it's been established, we've had, over 800 success stories with different people landing jobs within project management. And when you look at project management, it's quite far-reaching in terms of the kind of jobs you can land. We support with interviewing, with coaching, we do mock interviews. We also support candidates with personal branding, CV writing and LinkedIn support. For the B2B services, we provide virtual project assistance to small and medium-sized businesses. We provide consulting services as well. And we are also looking to start a service that would involve providing internships to underrepresented groups. So that is one of the services that we have in training. Now, when we want to talk about the Accelerate Academy, I just want you to think back to proven track record. I want you to think back to personalized learning experience. I want to think back to real world project experience. So when you look at the Accelerate Academy, what makes us really unique is that it's very practical. When people come to the academy, it's really broken down so that someone that knows zilch around project management kind of understands what it's about. And so that's what the academy is about. The kind of people that come on the academy are usually, we've had people like graduates from uni, career changes, people that have relocated and are considering other job offerings, people that are looking to move into jobs where they can get visa sponsorship, because project management is one of the occupations on the occupation shortage list that the Home Office has put together. So now we go into the really, really sweet and yummy part of this webinar. Now we're going to go into, what is project management and why project management. But before we go into what project management is, we have this poll that is on Menti. So if I ask that we, use our phones to scan the barcode, or we open the link that my team in the Q&A section, the link would basically take you to a Menti link. A Menti link is basically somewhere that takes you to where we have a poll set up. So I can't see the link shared already, but okay, now it's being shared. So if you just click the link, thank you so much. If you click the link that's been shared just now, just to take the poll around, the poll is basically asking a question around, what are your top reasons for considering a career in project management? Please go to the poll and please go to the poll and please put in the reason, your own reason why project management. And as we move on, I would then look at the poll for the results from that poll. So you got the link, to the poll, and I'm just going to look out from all of you. So Menti is right here. Yeah, maybe I'll give it a few minutes to get into the poll. Minutes for it for more of the responses to. So it appears that from the polls, what is winning is more work-life balance. Because there's an option for work-life balance, higher salaries, remote working opportunities. You're an incidental PM, so you're already doing something that is almost, it's almost similar to being a project manager already. Okay, let's just keep it coming, and I'll come back to this. Right. Okay. So now, when we're talking about project management, what do we think about? What are your thoughts when you think about project management? I've thought about the simplest way to tell you about project management, and I came across this really lovely animated cartoon or whatever that kind of just made me giggle a bit. Okay, that is me trying to get this to play. But I'm not having joy in doing this, so I'm going to just this was just to get some humor in. Oh, right, great. So now it's loading, lovely. Right, so okay. I think I'm just going to cool box trying to share that because it's just a few seconds of humor around, what a project manager does and what project management is. But if we can't get it to work, then we just move on. So when we're talking about project management, what do you think project management is? Do you want to put in the chat what you think about when you think about project management? What do you relate to when you think of project management? For me, I always thought about project management as this lead role that you get in and you have to lead people and just boss people about. That's what has always come to my mind around project management. So if there's anybody else that has had any other ideas around what they've thought around project management, just put it in the chat box. And I'll just be looking out at the chat box. So when you're talking about project management, you're talking about organizing a project from start to finish. You're talking about the ability to come onto something and start it, plan it, organize it, and achieve something in the end. So just imagine with Nigeria, where we have a lot of things we organize, like parties, weddings. Imagine that you had a party, like a proper Owambe, like, the proper where all your Ashwebi type of party, and you were the chief organizer of that, getting everybody together. Probably your wedding is always a project. So at every point of your life and people's life, they've gone through one project or the other. They've just never classified it as a project, and that's why. So everybody, at least almost everybody, has managed projects before or has been involved in project management before in their lives. So as a project manager and as someone within project management yourself doing is being able to set a goal and an objective around a project. And so in the case of a wedding, you're setting the dates you want to have your wedding, you're setting agreement around the guests, the ceremony, your guest list, your Ashwebi colors. Then you start to plan around, I want Wizkid to come and perform. I want to have this vendor. I want to have that. You start to look at all the works. You start planning. You probably get vendors. You get a wedding planner as well. Now, as someone that is project managing this Owambe or this wedding party, you need to keep things on track. So you're constantly coordinating. You're constantly double checking your budget. You're constantly checking that the vendors are on track. You're constantly checking that there are no last minute surprises. Maybe the wedding has been scheduled for a Saturday, and now you're finding out that on a Saturday, they're going to close certain roads, and that might affect your guests. You're thinking around those risks and how you can avoid or mitigate against those risks. And that's all project management. And on the day you have the wedding, it is big, it is glorious. You have your best musician perform, everything goes well and goes to plan. That is what project management is about, is planning that big idea, but breaking it down into smaller chunks of tasks and overseeing all the people that will all make that idea completed and come to fruition. So that is project management. Now, I was going to just double check the chat, the Q&A section to see what answers we've put around what project management is. And I'm just looking back. So someone said, okay, project management is like a servant leader career. It is absolutely that. It's your ability to organize and supervise a team from start to finish. Thanks, Ebon. That is completely right. It's your ability to do that. Okay, let's keep it coming around what we think project management is. Right. And then it's an ability to be able to organize people, resources, to be able to proactively manage risk and issues like unforeseen circumstances, to be able to look ahead of those things. Project management is the art of getting things done and things done right. And to get things done right, you can't do it by yourself. You need to manage and organize a group of people, ensure everyone is aligned on that goal, that common goal. Some examples of projects are a wedding, like I said, product launch for some of us that are here that have businesses, building a website. All of those are examples of, a project that you would manage. There are projects in every industry. So you have manufacturing, you have construction, you have oil and gas, you have healthcare, you have financial services. There are projects everywhere. Every organization is running a project, right? And so it is a job that is not specific, it's quite generalist in terms of the fact that across industries, you would have a project management role, and you would not just have one, you have several, right? So I want us to think about that. And when you think about project management and you think about organization, think about leading, please don't think about project management just around managing people, because there are different roles in project management. You can be a project manager where you manage a group of people. Also be a project management professional that works within a project management team as a PMO, as a project support officer, as a project coordinator. There are several roles within project management, and we would I think we have that somewhere in slide 15, right? So now let's speak around the characteristics. What do we think the characteristics of a project are? The characteristics of a project are about 5 things. When you think about a project, you have to think about what isn't a project, right? We've spoken around what project management is, but what is a project, and why is it different from, why is a project different from the likes of why is the project different from the likes of operations or what we do every day? Right. So a project is something that has 5 characteristics. Every project has to have it has to be temporary. It's always a temporary endeavor. A project is not a continuous thing. So whilst you have a marriage as operations, marriage is not a project. A wedding is a project because it is temporary. You plan for it temporarily, and once it's done, you move it to business as usual. You move it to an operational thing, right? So one key feature of a project is the fact that it is a temporary endeavor. The other thing around a project is, with projects, you are always looking to introduce change. You're always looking to, your change might be by way of improving things, or by way of launching a new product to the market, a new service. So you'll be looking to introduce change. You're looking to do things different, and that's why projects, they're different to operations, because operations, you're used to doing things every day in the same way. With projects, you're looking to introduce something new to an organization. Projects cannot be delivered by themselves, so they have to be delivered by a group of people. So a project is not a project if it doesn't have a group of people, if there's no project team, if you don't have that diverse mix of resources and people to actually deliver the project. Every project is unique because every organization is unique, and they have different, they have different things in their environment, in the business environment, that impact them. They have different stakeholders and different customers. Every project is unique. And another thing about projects that makes it really different from ops, and why a lot of organizations are spending lots and lots on project, is the uncertainty that comes with projects. Because when you're putting a project together, there's a lot of unknowns, and you start to get to know those things as you go along. There's a lot of uncertainty around projects. So just always think of projects and think about the fact that every project is temporary. Every project is has an objective. It has a benefit that it wants to fulfill. It wants to get. It has a benefit for which it was created. Every project is unique, and every project has uncertainty. So let's remember those keywords. Now, very quickly, let's talk about what is in a project life cycle. What is in a project life cycle? I know because I'm sharing my screen, I cannot welcome the people that have just joined as well. So for people that have just joined, you've come, in time, you've not missed too much. Welcome for wherever you are joining. And what we've gone through what project management is. We've gone through characteristics of a project. We've also gone a bit through the Accelerate Academy, and we'll go back to that shortly because we'll have candidates from the Accelerate Academy speak, right? So welcome and thank you for joining. For the people that just joined, just like everybody else, please, do not enjoy this webinar alone. Share it with people on your network. Just share the link out, and you get to have friends that also benefit from you in terms of personal improvement. All right, so when we're talking about a project's life cycle, we're talking about, for us humans and for the world that we live in, we have a life cycle as well, because you start as a child, you start as a baby from infancy, really, you become a toddler, you move from being a toddler to being someone of school age. From school age, you move to being a teenager, then an adult, then, you keep moving and you become a senior, and you eventually, at the end of the day, we all eventually go and meet our maker. So we have a life cycle. And so with projects, there's a life cycle as well. So as a project manager, you have to have this ability. And this is not just a project manager alone. This is also a project management professional, a PMO, a PSO, that's a project support officer, a project coordinator. Any of these roles that work within project management, you need to be able to understand the project life cycle. Now, can someone just put in the chat, a list of the project life cycle? I've probably given it away to you already, but just in case I haven't yet, I'm going to switch my slides and just look out. I'll just look out for your responses in the Q&A section. So I'm just looking at the Q&A section for your responses. What are the stages of a project life cycle? I'm just waiting. Thank you. Keep them coming. Okay, so Anoluwa said initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closure. Lovely. Well done. You've mentioned it all right. Absolutely. It is those 5 phases. Those are the, the 5 project life cycle phases, right? And at the different stages of the life cycle, you have different things you're meant to do. At the initiation phase, like going back to your wedding example, you're looking to start planning the wedding. You have to get a proposal to start. And once you get a proposal, you have to agree the dates. So that's initiating it. You start to think of the colors and the theme. You start to think around any potential issues that you might have. Maybe you don't want to have the wedding in summer, you want to have it in winter, you don't want to have it during raining season in Nigeria. You kind of think out the project. That's the initiation phase. Then at the planning stage, you start to plan. How much do I have for this wedding? My dad's family wants to give me 10 million, for people that might be lucky enough to have affluent parents like that, or generous, because they could be affluent and not generous. And someone would say, "Oh, I have another uncle that is going to give me 10,000, 10 million or 10,000 naira." And you just start to think around your budget. You start to plan around your budget. This is what my budget can achieve for this wedding. With your planning, you're beginning to think of the what, the why, and by when. That's what the planning is about. For your wedding, you start to put things around your wedding dress fitting, what date you want to do that. If you want to have an engagement party, what date, by when you want to have agreed with Wizkid, if it's Wizkid coming. I don't know why is Wizkid coming to my mind, right? You start to plan these things because obviously there's this word, and this might be a cliche to you. It will fails to plan, plans to fail. So I've not seen anybody in this world that does anything without planning. You plan your children's education, you plan your life, you plan your work day, you plan that. We have routines. Everything around this world is time and planning. And that's what you do at the planning phase. You go into the project execution, where you start to actually deliver the project. And when you talk about project execution and you're thinking around a wedding project execution for a wedding project would include things like you start to do your dress, your dress fitting. Your wedding planner starts to design what the hall will look like. Do you get? You have someone do a demo, maybe a comedian, they'll do a demo for you. Your DJ sends you, a package of some kind of pre-wedding thing where you can see what songs they would sing. So you begin to execute the project, and you also begin to execute the project by speaking to your vendors and ensuring that everything for the day goes to plan. Now you get to where you start to monitor the project. And how do you monitor a wedding? Your vendor or your wedding coordinator comes to you and says, "Oh, actually, the hall has said that, although we paid for this date, that date is not feasible anymore for the amount of crowd we're expecting. So we have to pay more money." You have to put controls in not to spend more than your budget. You have to put controls in so that the wedding date that you set doesn't change just because of improper planning. So you start to put the controls in. The last thing you do, I can see something saying saying screen share connection. I think I should be back. Please just give me a reaction if if everything is okay and you can see my screen. Just put the reactions there. Thank you. And then you kind of plan the thank you. You kind of start to do everything around not planning but monitoring, just making sure that things don't change around the wedding. Maybe you get the food vendor say they're not going to turn up. You quickly have something in place to mitigate against that risk by getting another food vendor, but that might mean that you spend more than you budgeted for. So that's what monitoring and controlling is about. And then you go to the project closure, where you close the project. And how do you close a wedding project? The wedding project will close just as you have the wedding and it's successful, at the back of that project closure, the project coordinator would look at things that they could have improved. And if it was in a project, as a project manager, you would also be looking at what you've achieved and what you can do better for the next project. So that's kind of the highlights of a project life cycle. Now, I want to speak quickly around why project management. And whilst we're speaking about this, I want this to sink in. Why project management? What people don't realize is that there's a gap and there's a demand for project managers. There's the PMI Institute, which is the Project Management Institute, is the globally recognized institute for project management, and they've made research, and the back of that research, they've come out with the fact that they've identified a gap in the amount of project management that we have globally. So they're projecting that 87.7 million people would be needed in project management by 2027, 2030. So there's a demand. And outside of the fact that there's a demand, project management is a career that, it affords you to be able to be well paid, right? Just look at this. Over the past 2 years, the demand for project managers and project management professionals like PMOs, project support officers, project coordinators, delivery managers, it has increased by 226%. And it is continued to increase in sectors like tech, construction, and healthcare. I don't know if any of you have gone to the NHS website recently. I went like 2 weeks ago or so. I was looking out for one of our candidates looking for sponsorship. And there was project management roles with visa sponsorship. So the demand is there, right? You go on the job boards, you will see lots of PMO jobs, project coordinator jobs, project manager jobs. So the jobs are there. The jobs are there. Where people are saying, some people would go about saying things that are not backed up by fact, like the market is saturated and that's all nonsense and untrue. These are the facts. I haven't pointed that out. I would just go straight to talk around why choose project management as a career. Project management as a career is ideal because you can get in there with no experience. It has low entry requirements. If you can get the bootcamp training like the likes of our Accelerate Academy, you get to close the gap between the knowledge you don't have and the transferable skills you can bring into project management. They are very lucrative salaries. A project manager is averaging 50-something thousand per annum in the UK. Globally, you have really high rates. In the US, you're getting people being paid up to about, look at the trend here. When you look at the part at the bottom, in the US, they're even so much better paid. For project management consultants, you're looking at $90,000, and you're going up onto the hundreds and something $1,000s per annum, and that's a good pay. I know in Nigeria as well, project managers are well paid in certain industries like tech, manufacturing. It's a really good career to go into. It's also a good career more so because it gives you, it's an in-demand job. You would always have the demand. It provides you with diverse development opportunities. So with project management, you can move into other fields, you can move into different industries, you can work globally, you get opportunities to work remotely, you get opportunities to work in different countries. I've spoken to people from Dubai. I had job opportunities in Dubai if I wanted to move to another country. So it presents you with also so much opportunities that some other jobs won't present you. It is not location dependent. So it's not one of those jobs that you have to be in the office 24/7. Maybe for construction project management, sometimes you have to be in every now and then at a certain stage of the project, but largely project management is not front facing. So there's a lot of opportunities to work from home. And I cannot overemphasize the flexibility and career progression it gives you, where you can move from being a project management professional into program management. You can also, it presents you with several roles. So most people know project management or a project manager, but that's not the only role. Like I pointed out, there's project management office, PMO. There's project support, there's project coordinator. There are agile project management roles like Scrum Master and the rest. There are lots of things to move into. And there's also lots of career progression so that you can become a senior project manager. You can become a project management consultant. You can look to move into program management and all of that. Now, what do project managers do? Now, I'm going to attempt to play this, but I suspect that I have the challenge I had previously. Okay, it's actually playing.
I'm a project manager. Of course, I'm going to schedule a meeting. Project manager. Of course, I'm going to ask if we can extend the deadline. I'm a project manager. Of course, I'm going to blame all of our project issues on the vendor. I'm a project manager. Of course, I'm just a highly paid babysitter. But the key word in that is highly paid.
Lovely. So I just loved how that reel ended. And this is why I cannot overemphasize why project management is an ideal role that you can transition into, because you're inherently doing things that involve overseeing others. So it gives you opportunity to grow on the job. And that's why she referred to the fact that she's an highly paid babysitter, just ensuring that everybody else does their bit around making the project a success. Now, she's mentioned some things. She mentioned deadlines. She mentioned managing vendors. As a project manager, you're managing people. That's the key thing. You're initiating a project. So you're starting it, you're mapping out the plan, you're managing the costs, you're managing the scope. The scope is what you're going to be doing within the project. So for a wedding project, the scope is, okay, we have 120 guests, we are feeding 120 guests, we are getting it all, we are catering for just this amount of people. These are the services that these are the things we'll be doing, the agenda for the wedding. That's kind of the scope, what the project would involve. As a project manager, you're managing timeline, because your wedding is set. You have sent out cards and the date in November. You have to ensure you achieve everything in that time. So as project manager, you're managing the schedule. And that's why in that video, she mentioned deadlines. You're kind of always on the, you're always about the time and about being on target and on time. You oversee a team as a project manager. If you're a PMO analyst, a project management office analyst, a PMO officer, you're not overseeing a team, except you're a senior PMO. You're working with a team. So I'm trying to point out to the fact that there's some project management roles that are not project managers. And so they don't have that leadership bit to it. So if you're someone that you just think, oh, you've always considered project management, but you've thought, oh, I can't be a project management professional because I have to lead teams, you can go on and become a PMO. And with a PMO, you're working with a team of people. You don't actually have to lead, and you're working as part of a team and working within a project management environment, and you're overseeing what a project manager is doing. You're basically coordinating the project manager's activities. You're double checking that they're doing things the right way. right? What else does a project manager do? They review the risk, that the project presents. So a wedding project, you have risk that it would rain, you have risk that the oil would not be enough for the invited guest. As a project manager, you want to manage those risk so that they do not impact the project. You can manage them in different ways. So it's being able to think around how you want to manage it. And with a project management professional, it's important that you are able to collaborate across different stakeholder groups. What are project stakeholders? Project stakeholders are people that benefit from a project. They have a stake in the project. An example of a wedding stakeholder would be your groom's family, bride's family, your uncles, your friends. You know how at weddings they now put signs on the place cards, and they put the different people. Actually, those are stakeholder groups they are identifying in your Owambe. So you have to be able to manage diverse stakeholder groups as someone within project management. Now, for everybody else that's been listening to what project management professionals do, can you put in the chat box? I'll be looking out in the chat box for any skills that you've thought of that aligns you to project management. Just put in any skills. Well done, Olamide. You've put something around initiation, planning, execution, closure, and monitoring. Absolutely. For people that are able to well, am I breaking? Am I breaking everybody? Oluwatoyin says I'm breaking. Am I breaking? Am I breaking everybody? Am I breaking? Please just put in the chat box if you can hear me. My voice is still breaking. So is my voice breaking for everybody? Can I see someone else confirm if they can hear me clearly? Because Olamide has put that my voice is breaking. So I just want to double check this against someone else. Is my voice breaking? Although it appears that my voice is okay because Olochuku and Ebola have put in, they're chatting. So yeah, please put in the chat, the Q&A section, what skills that you have that you project management professional. I'm just looking out for it. Can everybody hear me okay? Can everybody hear me okay? Right, okay. It's breaking at your end sometimes, Oluchuku. Alaba says it's better. Okay, so let's just quickly look at the skills, right? What skills do we need as project management professionals? And what skills do we already have? I'm seeing a lot of common threads here. Okay, Alaba says you can hear me. Okay, lovely. So we can hear. It's just it gets a bit it gets a bit shaky sometimes. Okay, all right, lovely. So Olochuku, you have organizational skills and time management, and that's really good. That's a really good skill to bring on as a project manager. Ebola, you have good leadership skills. For Ebola, that would apply very well as a PM. And even for organization and time management, you have the options of being a project manager or PMO professional or project coordinator. Ayobami, you have all this. Ayomide, sorry, you have all these skills. Lovely. Ayomide is good at communication. You have leadership skills, and you're really good at conflict resolution. Now, why is really good if you're going to become a project manager and you have conflict resolution skills is good because as a project manager, you're constantly negotiating things with vendors, negotiating things with stakeholders in terms of what the project can deliver with the limited funds. So that's a good skill. Some people where we have skills that is better suited as a PMO a project management professional or a project support officer or a project coordinator. And some people, we have the skills that are really good as a project manager. Ebola has good communication skills, lovely leadership skills, time management skills. So I think the common trait I can see, someone said time management skills. The common trait I can see is time management. And that is your leg in the door already, because if you are really good at time, because everything project management is about time, it's about milestones, it's about deadlines, and you can really put people to account for time spent and make sure that things are done at the time they're meant to be done, and manage against anything affecting those timelines that we've agreed to, you make a very, very good project manager. Now, we've spoken about project management. Alaba is saying that you're very innovative. So being very creative as well helps, because being creative helps you, especially as a PMO or a project support person, where you're thinking of ways to improve the project team and improve the ways of doing things. If you manage people well, you'll be very good with collaboration, fostering collaboration within the project team. And that's a good thing as a PMO. So Alaba, you have some really good skills that align to both PMO and PM. But the more I talk to you guys and I talk to people that go through the Accelerate Academy, the more I'm able to give my recommendations about what area within project management I think they're best suited for. So lovely. Just keep it coming, please. Right. So we've just spoken around the kind of skills needed for project management, and the skills really involve ability to lead, ability to to manage time well, organizational skills, problem solving skills, emotional intelligence, ability, creativity, verbal and non-verbal communication, ability to influence others, risk management. All of those good stuff and skills are ideal for becoming a project manager. Now, obviously, I've already mentioned all of the roles in project management, and they're even more than this. So if you notice this, arrow that goes upwards that says the PM career path, it even leads. It shows that you can start your PM career to becoming a COO, a chief operating officer. So with projects, you can move out of projects into an operational environment as well, because you would have the skill set and you would have had interface with the operational guys as well. So it's a good career. You get good career progression with project management. I think this view here is just showing you the demand for project management, and it says that 25 million employees would be needed, and they've based this on the fact that there'll be a lot of project managers that will be retiring, and there will still be a gap. So what they've identified is that they would need 12 million new project management professionals because of retirement, and they would need another 13 million new roles, and that comes to the 25 million. Right. So how do you want to land your project management job without experience? You want to land your project management job without experience, and that is possible, but how do you want to do it the right way? A lot of us do it a slightly different way. I've had a lot of people that have come in for their masters in project management, and when they finish their masters, they've been unable to get jobs. And unfortunately, we have to go back to the fact that you have to get your UK work experience if you're in the UK. In Nigeria, they're still looking for work experience as well. So getting too many certifications or getting degrees does not necessarily get you your leg through the door. What I always suggest to people when they want to land a job in project management as a PMO, PSO, project coordinator, a senior project manager, or project manager, Scrum Master, any of these roles, is to start to do some research about project management. Some of us on you have already done that. So please put in the chat what you've done so far. Just looking at this step-by-step guide, what have you done so far to become project managers, right? What have you done to become project managers? I'm going to just stop sharing my screen now. So I talk around the step-by-step guide to become a project manager. So for everybody on here that wants to put in the chat, make a note of these steps, and just put in the chat box what you've done so far to become a project manager. If it's something that you really, because for some people do a long time of sitting on the fence, and once they're sitting on the fence to make a decision, people have landed the career and they're already 2 years in the job, and their pay slips can show. So I advise you, don't sit on making a decision around career change for too long. But if you're really close to making a decision, please put in the chat box what you've done so far. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm not sure if I have my team on here. For my team, please just make note of the time, and please make note of the fact that I've stopped sharing, right? If you can put something in the chat to indicate that you are aware about not sharing. Sorry, what am I saying? If now I'm referring to my team, if you can just put in the team chat that you're quite aware of the fact that I've stopped sharing, that would be really helpful. So I'm just waiting to get that. I'm not seeing that indication from my team around knowing, oh, you're aware. Okay, lovely. So now when we're talking about how to become a project manager, I'm also looking at the Q&A section for your responses. So please keep the responses coming. Samuel, Olamide, Ebola, Alaba, keep the responses coming around. Oluwatoyin. Yes, I've stopped sharing intentionally because I wanted the interaction. I want to be able to see your responses around what you've done so far around, progressing this career transition journey into project management. So I've stopped sharing momentarily. I would go back to sharing again. So I'm just going to wait for your responses in the Q&A section around what you've done so far. But I would list out what you should be doing step by step. So if you want to get a project management job and move into project management, the steps you should be taking is it's about 8 steps. Well, I think there are key parts of this step that is very important. You can skip some, but you want to research about the job, like I said first. You want to do your skills audit where you identify, and we did a quick skills audit just now where I double check the kind of skills you can bring to the table. So you want to look at the skills required for project management, and you want to identify the ones you have and the ones you want to work on and cover the gaps around. You want to consider, at the back of that, you want to consider if you're an incidental PM and you've been doing PM related things. So you understand what you need to learn, because for an incidental PM, you are probably already know project management. You just need to get really confident with the language and identify the technicalities of the role. The next thing is you want to, some people go on to do a certification, a master's. What I find is I always advise people to do that when they're on the job, because those things, they're good value, but they don't necessarily get you a job. They're good value when you already have a job. So they make you more marketable and attractive, but they don't necessarily, they're not what a recruiter or employer would look at when they're employing you. Especially, they will look at it, but they won't look at it, especially when you cannot show or reflect the experience. in project management. Now, how do you reflect the experience in project management? To reflect the experience in project management, you want to you can only do that. I found that the best and the easiest way to do that. You can do that through about 3 ways. One of them is the one I know that is tried and tested because it's what we do. You can volunteer, but volunteer jobs in project management have been, they're not very easy to come across. And you can also freelance, and that is also a very competitive market. Now, the third one that I know is to join a bootcamp training like the Accelerate Academy bootcamp. So I'm just going through people's comments, and I can see that Oluchuku has taken some PM courses. Ebola says she wants to get a Prince 2 certification. Right. And this is lovely that you're getting all these certifications. It's good for you. But I think what I always want to point out is certifications are good. But I have people that come and say the certifications are not getting them jobs. And I'm saying your certifications will not convert to jobs, because what they're looking for is someone that can reflect project management experience as well as the certification. So you're competing against someone that has certification as well as project management experience. Those are your competitors. So you need to consider that. So where you haven't reflected that experience, you need to look to close that gap by, like Ebola, if you have that certification now, you want to be looking at getting the experience. And the fastest route to that would usually be a project management bootcamp training. Oluchuku, you didn't indicate what kind of courses you're referring to. Now, I see people do all the Coursera courses and all that. They are good. But my point is, these courses are continuous pieces. What are you doing now that will get you to becoming a project manager in 3 months? Do you get what I mean? Because when you have a goal, you have to put a smart thing to the goal. It must be specific and measurable. So if you want to become a project manager and you keep sitting on it, doing Coursera's and doing all of this, it is good, but it's also the what's after, what else after this. Olamide said he's done, coordinated a mini project submission and ensured delegation was put in place and made them responsible. Yeah, that's good. That's good that you said to act around it, but you need to look for more opportunities to be able to reflect project experience in your CV. Right, so I can begin to see questions. So I know my team will be picking out the question. Olamide is asking when the June Accelerate Academy will start. We will go through that detail. But what I wanted to do, I think I have some people on the call from just now, because we've spoken about boot camps and the experience. I want, we have one of the Accelerate Academy, we have someone from the Accelerate Academy that's just finished the current cohorts, and she'll just come up to talk about our experience. Josephine, are you here, please? I know Josephine cannot talk, but you can put in the chat. Josephine, I'm just looking at the Q&A section for your response. Has anyone else seen Josephine's response? All right, Josephine, I'm trying to also, I think what I notice is that you would be able to talk, but I doubt that you can present. So let me just find you and take you off mute. Okay, so yeah, I found Josephine. So Josephine, I'm going to make you a co-organizer so that you'll be able to talk. So let me know if you're able to talk now. Josephine, are you able to talk? I've made you a co-organizer. It says not connected to you. Okay, now you're connected. Lovely.
Hi, Lara.
Hi, Josephine. So you know, it was just for you to come up and just share your experience around the Accelerate Academy really quickly. So you have the floor. I'm just going to leave you to it. I've made you a co-presenter, co-organizer, so that you can connect with the rest of the people on the webinar. So please, if you can put on your camera, that would be good. Okay, all right, let me leave you to it.
Hi, sorry. Right. I just hi everyone. So I just finished my training with Lara, and I must say that it has been an interesting one. I will also say that before I started, I was just a novice when it comes to project management. I knew nothing about project management. And then I will say I'm a Christian. So I will say I prayed for God's direction, and I will say God brought me to Lara, because all that I wanted was to be held by the hand and led to everything I needed to know. And that's exactly what Lara has done. Lara is the type that will push you. She's not just after the money. It's not just after the money you pay. She's also very concerned about the fact that she wants you to understand what the whole thing is all about. She wants you to get the job. She wants you to get the experience. And in fact, everything that when she's giving you assignments, you would think it's just ordinary assignment, but it's actually real life scenarios, real life assignments. So whatever you're going to see in the job is what Lara is giving you. So you just have to prepare your mind that you're getting the exact thing you're going to see when you get a job at the end of the day. That's what she does. She's not giving you a makeup assignment. If it's CV, you're writing your CV. In fact, when I started my CV, I felt it was just I thought it was just makeup CV. I didn't know I was writing my CV until she started correcting me, and I realized that it was my CV that I was really writing, and that was really, really helpful. I like the fact that I do it by myself. Lara is the type that will criticize you strongly. She can be soft, but Lara is actually hard. Oh. Hey, Lara will give it to you the way it is. She does not have time to mince words. She cannot pamper you when it comes to what she knows that at the end of the day will help you. So she wants you to do it. She wants you to get it. So she will be your critic. She will criticize you the right way. She's just it. So you don't need to feel bad when she kind of tells you that you didn't do this right, or you didn't do it very well. She wants you to get it. That's why. And I love that about her. She doesn't mince words. She doesn't pamper words. She says it the way she is, and still she's soft. And then I will also say that she's genuine. It's not just about the money. So I've said all this, and if you are looking for experience in project management, if you're looking for a guide, come to Lara. Lara will hold you by the hand. In fact, she will be the one. She'll be the one pushing you. You on top of your money, on top of the money you think you paid. Lara will be the one pushing you. You know, every member of the team is involved. Lara will not leave you behind. If you are the type that hide behind people, Lara will bring you out. because she'll tell you that's what the job is all about. In this job, you're not going to, in project management, you cannot be hidden. You have to be a member of the team. You have to participate in that team. So she will bring you out. She wants you to present. So she shares it around. She makes sure that everyone, if you present this week, another person presents next week. She will make you a lead at one point or the other. You must present, you must do something. In fact, she encourages teamwork, because in project management, I think it's all about teamwork. So Lara wants you to be a team member. It could be you're a team leader, or you must participate in that team. You must be visible in that team. So that's what the whole thing is all about. So when you're coming here, you also need to know that she also encourages you when you join. She wants you to unveil yourself on camera, like, you know, the way you at the end of the day, when you start working, everybody will see your face. So she wants you to also improve in that. Show your face, so people, your team members, know who you are. Because when you start working, you're not going to hide behind the camera. You must show who you are at the end of the day. So please encourage anyone. I'm not saying it because I'm not hyping Lara. In fact, if you enroll in Lara's academy, you realize that she's more of what I'm talking about. In fact, I've not really described her right. You will find out that she's more. And in fact, at the time, you feel she's disturbing you. It will look like disturbance, but it's not disturbance. She wants you to get the quality of what you paid for. And if you actually mean business, to be into project management, she wants you to be that person at the end of the day. And I'm glad I'm here, and that she's still, like, as I will say that the learning part, has it ended? Lara is still connecting with us individually, even as the program has officially, like, the classroom part has ended. Lara is still connecting with us, wanting us to where are you now? What are you doing now? Have you done this? Have you done that? She wants to make sure that at the end of the day, you land a job. And that's the part I'm waiting for. And I believe that if I have gone through all the processes, I will surely land a job soon. That's my heart's desire. And she's into it. She's walking me into that. And please tell everyone who is interested in this, that person will never regret it. Lara is everyone's answered prayer. Thank you.
Oh, those are such kind words, Josephine. Thank you for coming on to say this. You know, most times when people come on as candidates that have been in the Accelerate Academy or they've gotten jobs, they ask me, what should I say? And I don't want to give a script. I want it to be natural, and everything Josephine has said has come naturally. And obviously, I told you I'm not comfortable with taking the limelight. So, you know, when someone is talking about me, I kind of shy away from it, because it's never about me. It's about everybody else and about you, you know, you landing that job. For me, it's more than a job. It's impacting lives. I've had people, there's someone that joined the Accelerate Academy 2016. She got her first job. She came to the UK, didn't have to do any of the odd jobs that we do. I did odd jobs when I got here. I worked in all sorts, right? Before I even landed into project management. But she didn't have to do that. She went straight into project management. And during lockdown in 2019, she called me, and you know, we had this conversation. She had the job, she'd changed jobs, she'd gotten a mortgage, and all her family had come to join her. And I just felt this warm, fuzzy feeling, just really feeling fulfilled, being part of that journey. So, you know, it is really very close to me. Thank you, Josephine, for pointing out. And for anybody that is wondering, Josephine just finished from our most recent cohort that finished last week. So she's really fresh. We're still finalizing CVs, and I'm still doing, you know, I'm still reaching out to each person one-to-one. Okay, we finished the academy, but we're still on track. And so obviously she's right about, you know, trying to keep people to account. I'm all about ensuring that, you know, we started a goal, we're going to see through the goal together. So by God's grace and God's willing, Josephine, for sure, God on our side with all us doing all the necessary things. You know, once we get your CV live and finalized, then we start to get interviews. We're starting mock interview series next week for our current for our previous cohorts. So we'll start doing mock interviews as well. Right. So thank you so much, Josephine. I really appreciate your time.
No worries. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was going to ask if our second candidate can join, Stella, if she's ready to come on. And Stella's gone through the academy, but she's gone through the academy a few years back now. And so she's just going to tell us very quickly about her experience and about our landing a job after the training. I'm quite aware around time and the fact that we do still need to take questions, which we'll take shortly after Stella's Stella shares with us our experience. So Stella, can you I don't know, can anyone confirm if Stella is on? I'm just going through the attendees really quickly. Yeah, I can see Stella is on. So I'm going to make Stella a presenter. She should already be a presenter, but I'm not sure why she isn't. So what I'll do is yeah, it's quite strange. I'm clicking to make you a presenter, but it's not giving me that option. Right. Okay. So I think it's something to do with the tech. It's something to do with the tech. So we'll just crack on around those steps. So I know I was talking about the signing up for bootcamp. I'm just telling Stella, who is meant to share a success story around the academy. I'm just telling her around joining. I don't think it's from your end, so I think you're here, Stella. But I think that can anyone from my team help, because they would have the same rights as I do? Aluba, I think there's something from my end. I'm unable to do anything with the participants. Can you help look for Stella Oyetayo and unmute the person and make them a co-organizer so that she can come on and talk, please? Oh, lovely stuff. Thank you. This is really teamwork makes the dream work.
Can you
While
see
Stella
or
is
hear
coming
me
on,
now?
I just really want to thank, I really want to thank my team. I honestly, I couldn't do all of this. For everybody on the call, there's a lot of effort put into webinars. Before now, when I didn't used to organize this, I couldn't have understood it. But for every team, I really want to say thank you for all of the support and work we've done this week. We should be really proud of ourselves. Thank you, Stella, for coming on. So I'm going to shut up now so Stella can share her experience. Stella was part of the Accelerate Academy going to 3 years now or so. She's one of my super Accelerate Academy candidates because she landed her job just bang on it was probably even, let me not even say your story for you. So I'm going to let you go on and say your story.
Thank you. Can you confirm you can hear me? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lara, for having me here to share my experience with Ara Lyric. And just as Lara was about to start talking about my encounter with Lara and her team, I finished the cohort in it feels like such a long time now. I think that was 2021. And it was close to a month after I finished, I got my very first role. And it was was quite interesting because I have a finance background, which means that I was also fresh into project management and project management office. Having a finance background meant I was a bit skeptical about how I was going to navigate a new sort of role, as it were. But Lara is very good at helping you see your transferable skills and areas where you actually didn't realize that you had skills that can be easily transferred into project management. And that is where I think I started building my confidence because you know, as it is, if you're going into a new role, you are sometimes worried about, can I do it? Am I sure it's something that is meant for me? Are you sure my colleagues will not think I'm a JJC? There are different things, imposter syndrome and what have you. But what Lara's team helped to do was to ensure that I was best suited for the role. They worked with me on my CV. Remember, finance CV. Imagine a very finance CV, and then they worked with me to align my CV to the project management job applications. Very first interview, I actually remember I was sat in front of Lara throughout the interview. I literally said, I am coming to yours because I have this interview and I need you to help me get through it. And that is one thing I think if you're going to join this academy, this is a differentiating factor. The support you get from our lyric is just like the previous person that spoke, Josephine, said, the support is intense. It's intentional. Lara wants you to succeed, and that's very rare nowadays, where everybody is all about the money. She will actually push you. So, and this is one thing that I got during the interviews. There were times when she was like, "No, no, 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 you're digressing. This is what you should do." But it was just that one time, and it was a learning curve for me, a big learning curve. But guess what? 3, 4 interviews down the line, I landed my first role. And I think what I need to emphasize here is that it wasn't just landing the role that made me realize that I went through a very good academy. It was actually when I got into the role. And I shared this with Lara in my very first month. It was the feedback I was getting was really good. Ownership. I think I shared with Lara. I got a lot of feedback about the ability to adapt really quickly. I got feedback about my contribution to the team, and there was a lot of, I think for me, there was a lot of feedback around. I was able to ask the right questions, and I think all of those was what I got from, you know, the academy, and in terms of how I was actually taking on what I had learned into my role. And since then, I've worked with 3 other banks. And I mean, 3 other banks means, you know, I've actually now, I won't say I'm a project management guru, but I think I've gathered experience that can actually help me succeed in any other role that I want to go into. And this is all thanks to the boot camp at our lyric, the positioning my CV, aligning my CV to be able to help me get the roles, the interview support. So interview support also really important. And I know that Lara's they have the interview, Lara, what do you guys call it? Where you have mock
We do
interviews. Yeah.
mock
Yeah,
interviews.
the mock interviews are also very helpful because it gives you almost a real life scenario of how you can do in a real life interview, which I think helps in terms of your nerves, in terms of understanding the type of questions that needs to be done. And another thing is that you get a cheat sheet. That cheat sheet is golden. So every scenario you can apply, to everything, and as you can apply to a scenario-based question, is in that cheat sheets. That is another thing that I got. So now everything I said, I think, points to the fact that it is kind of personalized to you, and it is actually structured. The book can be structured to make you succeed, but there has to be, I think, and this goes for without saying, for anything, if you want to succeed, you have to put in the work as well. There's the part where you have to be determined to make it happen, and you have to grow your confidence, especially if you're someone like me that was sort of transitioning from a previous role to a new role. So it's really important to actually, I think it's more like psych yourself at the beginning until you get in there, and ask the right questions when you get on the role. Always ask the right questions. There's no dumb question, but there are questions that, I guess, in terms of expectations for the role that you're in, that everyone will expect that you already know how to do. So I think sharing my experience so far has been is something I like to do, in terms of sharing my experience with the Ara Lyric team and how they've actually helped and supported me thus far. Thank you, Lara and team.
Thank you so much, Stella. That's really lovely. It's really just nice and rewarding for me to hear people talk. I mean, when I talk about these candidates, it's really strange to blow my trumpet, because I talk about them proudly, but it's even so much more different when they talk about the team, about what we do, about how we support people. And I mean, I guess for everybody else on this call, you come on and want to do something like this, and you're not sure what you get. So, you've gotten first-hand information around what you will get. We are slowly moving on to when we start to do the Q&A section. So please start to put your questions in. Well, before we go into the Q&A session, I was just going to point out to anybody that is interested in joining the Accelerate Academy, please put into the chat so that my team can reach out to you. Just put interested into the Q&A box if you're interested. The next cohort for the Accelerate Academy is in June, and the June cohort starts on I think we have the 1st of June as the first Saturday this year. Your Accelerate Academy runs for 5 weeks, like you know. So by the end of June into July, you finish your Accelerate Academy and you are getting ready for the job market. So if you're on the call and you want to enroll for the Accelerate Academy, please put into the chat box. Just put interested into the chat box, and my team would be in touch. Thank you for the people that have put interested. Can anyone else just share with UDWAC? Anyone on my team share with UDWAC the enrollment form? We're actually doing we have a discount for people that have joined this particular webinar. We have a discounted price for all those that have joined. So if you indicate interested in the chat box, please. So there's a few interested people. So can I ask the members of my team to please reach out with the enrollment form. Now, in terms of the Accelerate Academy, cost prices, because I think you might be interested in that. The course is usually the regular price for the course is £750, but for those on the call today. So I think what I wanted to do was also to share my screen, just so that this is easier to understand. So in terms of the pricing model we have for the Accelerate Academy, we have a premium model where you pay for the academy and everything included in the academy. You have the end-to-end support, the networking, everything. You have access to the LMS platform. The Accelerate Academy is usually £750. It's discounted today by 30%, and so you'll be paying 525. For anyone that's on here that's considering the academy, if you had any questions around the payment, do put in the chat box so that we can address it now. You're basically getting work reference, you're getting a cheat sheet, you're getting mock interviews, you're getting hands-on support with interviews as well. We would analyze your interviews, we would support you, hold your hands. You get, that one-to-one check-in with your coach. So it's a mentoring coaching model, not just a trainer's model. You get our very small classrooms where it makes it easier to learn. We don't have really large class sizes. So it enables and fosters quick learning. You're paired with learning bodies. So it's all about interaction, all about practical experience. And you get all this for $525 today. For people on here that have probably not planned around this, what we always advise and suggest is, because we have limited spaces, because we can only accept a minimum number of learners per classroom. If you wanted to join the June cohort, please do. What we would ask you to do today is to put pay some commitment fees, what we say. And for the commitment fee, it is from £50 upwards, so you can pay anything between £50 to £100. That kind of secures your space. And to secure that space, you can look at the account number in slide 20, which I'll share shortly. So that's for the premium model. Now we also have a phased model. And what's the phased model about? The phased model is for people that want to join the academy, but probably want to pick and choose what they want, right? And they don't want, if you want the full package of the Accelerate Academy, like you get with the Academy, Accelerate Academy premium package, you get it cheaper, definitely going for the full package. But if you wanted to pick and choose, you wanted to just first attend the academy first, that's $199. And then you can then at your own time come back after doing the academy and then decide to want to do personal branding. Or you might decide, actually, I can do my CV myself. I do not need that support. I then want mock interview support. So we have this phased pricing as well, right? But the Accelerate Academy needs a commitment fee to secure your space. So please, if you want to secure your space, whether you're going for the premium package or the phased package model, with the phased package, you get just the Accelerate Academy, nothing else, for $199. And with the premium package, you get everything, all the support, all the networking, all the one-to-ones, mock interviews, everything at once for $525 today. Slide 20 just shows the account details. And I think my team will be sharing the account details as well. For people that are joining from Nigeria, we do provide Nigerian referencing, and we tailor for the Nigerian job market our product and service. So for people from Nigeria, I know there was a few people from Lagos, from Abuja. You have the Nigerian account number there. You can't miss it, because once you put in the sort code and the account number, you would be able to you will be to confirm the account number. Now let's quickly go to Q&A. So I'm going to keep sharing that account number so that you can see it, and then I'm going to talk about the Q&A. I think I had 1 or 2 questions around the Q&A so that we can wrap up this call. Samuel is interested as well, so if we can just share with Samuel the enrollment link. I just want to point out to all the people that have filled the enrollment link, please do not just fill the enrollment link so that you get that discount that we're applying today for the webinar. I would suggest you get, you put some commitment to it, because for the June classes, we have the classes, the spaces nearly filled up. We have a few more spaces left. And once the spaces are filled up, we won't be able to accommodate you for the June class, unfortunately. we will be looking for, another quad down the way. So I would really advise you put that commitment down. Now, in terms of questions, I think we had one question or two. Please put in your question. Any career questions, please put it in. I think the key question I had was something around what can you do as someone in healthcare but growing into management level? That question is quite vague. If you're in healthcare, do you want to continue in healthcare? You can possibly look to become a project manager within healthcare. So if you wanted to do that, you'll be best closing the gap with your experience and your abilities by joining a boot camp. With the boot camp, it helps you to improve your skills and you get upskilled into project management. And so what you can do is then take your project management experience that you get from the boot camp and you start to look for project management jobs within healthcare. I just referred to the fact that there are lots of boot camp, there are lots of NHS, I've seen a lot of NHS project management roles. Yes, the premium package you get. Let me list what you get with the Accelerate Bootcamp premium package. You get the 5 weeks training. You have access for 6 months to our learning platform and all our materials. So you're continuing learning and developing. You get CV writing, CV support, LinkedIn optimization guidance and support. You get career strategy sessions, you get mock interview, career strategy sessions, interview strategy sessions, mock interviews. You get a cheat sheet that gives you scenario answers that you use at your interviews. I mean, you're basically given a script and you work well with the script and you land the job. At the point you land the job, you're giving work experience as well. We also do provide a simulated work experience for 2 months if you want to get the work experience. And then we also then provide the UK reference. So I hope I've answered that question around the reference. The other thing about the bootcamp training is we have a digital offering of the bootcamp. While we prefer people to be there when they attend, if you miss a bootcamp, either because you're ill or thereabout, you would have access to the recording. So that's the answer to that question. You do have answers to the recording. So I don't really think I've got any more questions, but if I've missed anything, please let me know. I would just say, at this point, I have shared the account number enough. If you do not have the account number, please shout. And someone else can also then put the chat box, someone from my team. But please follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. I really appreciate your time. I do not take anybody's time for granted, and I do not take walking through this career transition and holding your hands for granted. So I'm really excited about the people that have signed up for the academy. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm just going to look back at just going to quickly at the chat again for any questions. I haven't quite noticed if I've missed anything, but I'm not sure if my team has quite shared the company account numbers for people that want to join, that want to enroll and want to pay the commitment fee. I do not think that has been put in here, except I've missed it, so that people are not confused how to join. Because I think the last webinar, it was after the webinar, we found that people did not have the account number. So please, can you ensure that that is shared? Thank you so much again. If you haven't been able to get the account number, please do shout. We have a WhatsApp group as well, where we have project management professionals that you can join, and I imagine that group has been shared. The link to that group has been shared. All right. Okay. All right. So we would call it we would call it a wrap. Oh, there's some more questions. So can someone with BA in English and experience in customer service, what industry? So if you're from customer service, you're already doing client facing, you have stakeholder management skills. And if you have BA in English, you'll be, I picture you as good as communication, right? So I would definitely say that you have quite a feat already. You have some of the skills. I mean, if you attend Accelerate Academy Bootcamp, we can start to get you more accustomed to the project management languages. We can get you more accustomed to start to upskill you to close that gap. So I definitely think that you fit well in project management if you can start to identify your own abilities as well. So outside of this, your BA in English and your experience, what kind of person are you? Are you someone that, you like to talk, you like to make friends, you like to lead? If you like to lead, you'll probably be a good project manager. If you like to make friends and just coordinate things and get things going, you would be best suited for PMO. So, it is definitely something for you. The bank name has not been shared. Someone has been asking for the bank name and the bank details, and no one has shared it because I cannot see it on the chart. I know I shared it online, but we just need to share it on the chat. I would just share it myself if I can. So this the bank name is the bank name is not the bank name is Barclays. So if you want to converse with us outside of this webinar, we have our contact number, which someone from my team will just share. You can reach out to us on WhatsApp. The bank name is Barclays. The bank name is Barclays, if that is the UK bank you're asking for. If you have inquiries for the webinar, please reach out via WhatsApp. And our contact number for WhatsApp is, I'll just share in the chat just now. And you'll be able to talk to myself or someone on my team directly. So I'm just going to share that quickly as we just close. I don't know if there's anyone on my team that can share these details. Can you just share the contact number of because I'm trying to do it, but I keep copying and pasting. It as an image. So if you can be so kind to share the number, that'd be really helpful. All right, so I'm just going to share the contact number now, and then we would call it a night. It's been a really good night. I've really enjoyed just walking everyone through project management and talking about the skills that you have that you can bring on board. I'm just going to, as we close the call, I would just keep sharing my screen with the bank details, just for anybody that was trying to get the bank details and couldn't get it, because I noticed that there's nobody on the team that has shared the bank details. So I would just keep sharing. So just give me a minute to share my screen, and then you can see the bank details if you were looking for the bank details. So right now you should be seeing my screen. Right, okay, lovely. So you have all that. Someone asked for the cost in Nigeria. if you look at the cost in Nigeria, so for if you're joining from Nigeria, the cost is 250,000, and that is discounted from 500, so it's 250. So what the UK have a certain discount, the Nigerian people from Nigeria even have a further discount. So please, if you're joining from Nigeria, it's 250K. And if you were interested, you can also put in some commitment towards the academy, and then you know, that actually secures your space. If you're going to be paying into the Nigerian account, please reach out to us as well after you make the commitment fee. Has spent the time with us today. I won't immediately close the call, but I wouldn't be on the call anymore. The call is officially closed. I'll just leave it open because I will keep sharing my screen with the bank details in case anyone wanted to get the bank details. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasant evening.
Next door, job looks